This video is for those of you that are deep in the unknown right now and you are working on building yourself a new reality, a new timeline, and you're in that known phase where your whole life is starting to unravel. So you don't fit into the old reality anymore. Relationships have ended. The way that you used to earn money before isn't working anymore. Your businesses have been failing. You've gone through a massive death and rebirth, and you are so focused on that life you want to create, the most expansive, the highest timeline. But the question I get asked all the time is, how do you have trust in this phase when you don't know what's going to happen or how it's all going to play out, and you've got a history of trauma, so you're hyper vigilant because you need to know what's going to happen, otherwise you can't trust it, and you don't feel safe because life hasn't felt safe and now you're just leaping into the unknown. Like, how do I develop self-trust as being someone that has leaped many timelines over the last decade to break massive generational patterns from the relationship that I have, the marriage that I have, the home that I have, the family I'm creating, the business that I run, the purpose that I follow? I'm a total black sheep cycle breaker person. So if that's you, you're in the right place. And how do I have self-trust in that unknown? Now, it's funny because the universe mirrors what we feel. So, how we perceive reality, how we respond to reality, how we participate to reality. So, if we are somebody that trusts ourselves and believes in ourselves, then the universe will reflect that back to us. What I mean by that is, if you are waiting for something external to you to give you certainty so that you follow your path, you will not get trust and belief reflected back to you. You will not get trust and belief reflected back to you. You will get your uncertainty reflected back to you. If you are looking for perfection or having it all together before you take action, then again, you are looking for something outside of you to give that to you, and that's not going to happen. The universe will give back to you what you are. So you have to become someone that you can trust and someone that you believe in. Unfortunately, the way that you build self-trust and self-belief is through regular action of being someone that you can trust and believe in. That means the version of you that's abandoned herself or betrayed herself for others has to stop running the show. And you have to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to grow my business, or I'm going to start my business, and I'm going to start taking those actions. Because if you have been in the unknown, you have been getting some kind of soul intuition has been saying, what about this step, right? When I started my business 6 years ago, I started with a podcast. I had absolutely no idea how to create a podcast, how to create an audience, how to have a community. I didn't know any of those things. And I didn't feel like a podcaster, but I had the idea, and I basically just decided that I was going to record on these days, I was going to edit on these days, and I was going to do this whole self-care routine. And I did that daily. And then I became someone that believed that she was a podcaster, that believed that she was a thought leader, that believed that she could have clients. And then the universe mirrored that back to me. I had paying clients. I had people coming up to me and sending me messages and contacting me about my podcast and how could they work with me, because I had believed in myself and I had taken the actions that I had promised to myself that I would do. Something I didn't do back then, but I certainly do now, is I was doing things that scared me, like being seen, like expressing my truth. And I wasn't taking care of my nervous system through that. So if you are doing things that used to be unsafe for you, like trusting and believing yourself, like being someone that puts yourself before other people, like somebody that's prioritizing her vision, her life, her money, her health, then that's going to feel scary to your system. So you want to be working with your nervous system and taking the embodied action that's from your intuition. So let's say my current step is to be here on YouTube. So I have a morning routine. As I create videos, I do like practices throughout the day so I feel regulated when I'm creating them. Because for a while, this was an edgy step of I had a podcast, but actually being physically seen was I have a lot of shadow and a lot of trauma wounds around what I look like and my body shape and people saying things about it. So being visible was a bit hard for me. And then next step is that I've got to follow is I contacted someone to help me to allow my videos to be seen by more people. So I will be working with my nervous system to increase visibility and to increase quality of the video and communicating because I'm learning. You guys are seeing like I don't have the best camera. I'm just rolling with it. I'm not being perfect, okay? Like the other day, my energy probably wasn't 100%, but I wanted to be seen on a day where I don't feel massively perfect and still believe that I can be of value to others and also help myself. When you start doing this process of actually taking the action, and it's for this reason that you have to do it, you will begin to see your shadow reasons why you can't have the thing. And you won't know that until you're doing it. Until you actually start to go towards what you desire, will the parts of you that are like, that's dangerous, come up? And then you will need to do shadow work, which I just did a video on. So I'll put the link here. You should definitely go watch that. And when we find the parts of us that are like, hey, that's really dangerous, then the job of you as well, as part of your doing, as part of your being somebody that you can trust and someone that you can believe in, is being there for their parts. What I see with people that are on a transformation journey, that are in the self-development space, they are not taking care of these wounded parts of them that are actually really scared of going forwards. And therefore, they're yanking them through transformation. And I did that when I shared about I didn't really deal with the shadows of being seen when I was being a podcaster in my early days. And what that meant was I got burnt out and I got really sick, and it was not sustainable because that shadow, as my visibility was increasing, as I was becoming more successful, as I was making more money, she freaked out and she sabotaged everything, right? So that's why we want to go slower and we want to be regulated as we're moving through the process as much as we can because it is activating. So we want to work with our nervous system to constantly show ourselves that I can go towards what I want and I'm safe because I'm not the 7-year-old, I'm not the 10-year-old, I'm not the 20-year-old, I'm not the 25-year-old. And remember, as an adult, where you have built new skills, like, for example, learning how to drive, or learning how to cook, or some kind of life skill, right? You were really bad at it at one point, and then you repeated it so many times that you can now do it with your eyes shut. But at one point, it felt really unsafe to you. Now, when you have a history of complex trauma, relational trauma, and these things, going towards desire and coming fully out of survival mode, going for your purpose and your dreams and up-leveling your life brings up a lot in the body. It brings up a lot in the nervous system and in the emotional body because of the parts of you that didn't feel like you're allowed to have this, or that it's unfamiliar and it's dangerous. So you want to be able to mother and father these parts as you proceed. So it may take you longer because you have to have these internal chats. So the way that this looks like on a day-to-day basis for me is, let's just say today, recording a couple of videos and I'm doing some admin around it and things like that. So I will do a morning routine to make sure I'm regulated and that my energy is topped up. I will do throughout the day some VU breaths to make sure I keep coming back to the present, showing myself I'm safe, nothing bad is happening because I'm doing a video, nothing bad is happening because I'm expressing myself, nothing bad is happening that people around the world are seeing it, and everything is okay and I'm safe here in the present. So I got to show my system that that's true. And then I also have to be present to whatever parts of me are going to come up and go, yeah, but I don't believe in it because of this, or I don't believe in it because of that. Some of them are actually heart parts of you. They are childlike parts of you. Some of them are just mind things. They're just a limited belief. So the minute that you hear the limited belief of, oh, I don't think you can do this, I no longer talk to myself like that. I believe that I can do anything because you can do anything. You can find out how to do anything. You can develop any type of skill. We are in a world where there is so much information available to us to tell us how to create a skill. Like we just have to learn how to do the skill, right? And over time, we will believe that we can do that. And over time, as we believe and trust and feel safe doing the thing, the universe will begin to reflect it back. But when you have protective parts that are stopping you from proceeding forwards, you are in a freeze. You need to work with your nervous system to slowly open up those protections. So the way that you can do that is just journaling about why they don't want to proceed forwards. And there's loads of reasons of like, it's not safe, I might get it wrong, I might fail, I won't be perfect, blah, 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 blah. But you just have to kind of say to all of those parts of you, it's okay if you fail because I'm not your dad. I am your healthy adult parent. And you're allowed to fail because that's how you create greatness. People become great because they fail, or they have to be perfect if I'm going to be seen on camera. No, you actually don't, because the people that genuinely will connect with you and be your people are not going to care what your hair is like. But somebody that you don't have an authentic connection with and they care about that is probably not going to be your person. So you just have to, it's almost like you're coaching yourself. And these parts of you that are like, I can't, but you will not know any of that until you start to walk forwards. And also, you will not get more intuitive downloads on the steps that you're taking if you don't actually follow the ones that you're getting, even when it's so small. Like in the beginning, the smallest thing I had was start the podcast, start an Instagram page. These are your brand colors. And that's all I did. I didn't know what I was doing. I have never done that before. And I just did that. And then it was like, okay, create a course of all the steps that you've done. So I created the course. Then it was like, sell one-to-ones, do this group. I did that. I was so good in the beginning because I had nothing to lose. I'd never done this before. It was kind of fun because I was like, I'm still getting paid for my old job. This is cool. Let's just play. So it was very much play in the beginning. But some of you listening to this might be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to scale now, or I'm growing something, I'm creating more time freedom. But it's just a new thing. It's just a new thing that you don't quite believe is possible yet. It's still the same as what you've done before. It's just higher stakes or more unknown or more fear because there's more expansion available for you on the other side. But it's the same. I follow the step and I repeat. I'm doing it too. I'm in a death and rebirth as well because I'm regulating, because I'm taking care of all the different parts of me. The steps are so much cleaner to me. It's like, oh yeah, I just need to learn how to master that skill. Okay, when am I going to do that? There's no drama. I'm not chasing an external result because that's not going to show up until I'm more and more in that mastery, more and more in that learning. And it's just trusting the process. Because as you go through the process, you will find out what you don't know, which is shadows and your resistance and your protection. And then you will also get gifts and learning and skills. People want to avoid this, but this is you becoming the new identity because you're doing it. You can't become it if you're not doing it. And if you are waiting for the universe to pass it to you like some kind of gift, they're not going to do that when you are not mirroring that within. And lots of people will say to me, oh, but it's easier for this person, or this person doesn't have my history, or but this person doesn't have my trauma, or whatever. And so therefore I can't do the thing. And it's so much easier for other people to do the thing, right? That's what we all think. But that's a victim consciousness. What I've been talking about in this video is your solar plexus. And it's looking for the outside validation rather than being the empowered person that takes those steps from those intuitive actions, clawing back your energy from all kinds of places. This week, I'm running a live experience called Expansion Code, which is a session every single day where we look at the 5 lower chakras. And you get to experience my year program where we go really deep into this work because it's not something that you can just body really, really fast. It requires support, community, nervous system support, structure. If you do what I'm saying, you're going to do great. You're going to start moving, but you might find that you hit a wall and you're not doing it because there's some protection within you and you can't access that protection and you need support to be able to go deeper into your shadow. So it's super affordable. It's £33 for the week. You can come afterwards as well. It won't be live. Obviously, you can just watch the replay and you get to experience what I provide in that overflow for a year, where you are going to have like embodied practices that you do on each of these chakras to help unlock more of your light, dissolve the shadow, and mean that you can actually move your energy to what you want. Life doesn't change if nothing does change. And I want to say to those of you that are like, want to believe that story that because I was a victim as a kid, I can't have this thing. But you have such a gift because you had such a challenging start to life. You are incredibly resilient. You have been created in the most challenging environment. So that means that you are actually really good at change because you are used to being really uncomfortable. You are used to struggle. And because of that, you actually do have the capacity to do this. It's actually your greatest gift. Over the years, I used to think there was something really broken about me because I'd had that childhood and awful parent and abuse and all the things. But actually, I see because of that, that's why I'm crazy enough to go for my dreams. That's why I can create the kind of changes I have in my life and I can swim in the unknown. It's not always easy and it brings up a lot of stuff because my whole life was an unpredictable, chaotic experience. So, therefore, taking action in the unknown to possibly make my life better is better than living in a house which is abusive and you don't know what parent you're going to get. So, it's actually your greatest freaking gift what happened to you. And I know people that have had 5% of what you've experienced and they cannot follow this path for crap because they are so afraid of being uncomfortable because they've had a really entitled life, to be honest, have a certain life and it's come really easy to them and they haven't had to do anything that's required any struggle, really. So they don't have that capacity in their nervous system to go for it. And also the pain hasn't been that bad for them to do it. Because being jealous or wanting something is one thing, but facing your shadows and taking the uncomfortable action in the unknown is something else you have never experienced. But those of you that have had those challenges, you are made for this. You can do it. Allow yourself to be supported. Go be in safe community that understand a nervous system like yours. I made the mistake of being in environments that said transformation. I think there's a lot of us that have had trauma for being in the wrong coaching spaces and feeling unseen because my nervous system was too much. It's like, just tell yourself you're safe. I can't tell myself I'm safe because I grew up not feeling safe. So I could be being seen on camera, which is clearly safe, but to my body, it doesn't feel like I'm safe. And I can't say that 1,000 times to myself. And I'm not getting the result that you're telling me I'm getting. What is it that I'm doing? Why am I not enough? And it's bringing up all of these emotions, which that particular mentor or that particular container is not able to support me with. So I'm just sitting there alone with all these big emotions and all this pain from my childhood again, and the persons can't help me, and I'm just alone in trying to sort my shit out. You've just been in the wrong place. Anybody listening to this, make sure any spaces that you step into for support, that person has overcome some of the obstacles you are facing with your nervous system. Okay, that's essential because you will feel unseen and they will not be able to walk you through the more unconscious shadow that you're going to have to walk through. I'm so proud of myself that I have that space. You can come into Overflow for the year. I have a membership where you can do like more foundational work. Or you can come and experience the week experience for £33. Just comment expansion code if you want to join there, and I'll pop the links for Overflow and It Ends With Me, which is my membership. So come and join us, right? We do this work together. I'm doing it with you. We're doing it together. We have structures to support you in this because change is not easy. But you are the one that you are waiting for, not the universe. The universe gives you what you give yourself. So raise the standard for your life. Go claim that life for yourself. Take the messy action. Take care of yourself. Take care of all your parts. Observe what's going on, what's getting triggered by the experience, and keep going. We are in a fire horse year, so the energy available to us to rocket ship our lives is insane. But what you might be experiencing right now is you're just being shown so many of your wounds and so much of what you want in life. And you're like, okay, I'm frustrated. How can I make this happen? This is how you make it happen. You take the action. You become someone that you trust. You become someone that builds promises for yourself. And I know that's hard, right? It's embarrassing for me to share this with you, but I have really struggled my whole life with taking care of my body because of loads of shadows that I won't bore you with. So I know that I should take care of my body consistently. And I know I should take care of my money consistently to create this safety in my life. But I don't do that because those two things still feel like my home to me, my childhood to me. So for me to truly let go of my home, to truly let go of my childhood, I have to seriously clean up those areas. And it brings up, I'm working on it all the time. There's shadows coming up and shadows coming up. And it's a simple thing that other people can just do so easily. And I just can't because of my experiences. But I continue to peel layer after layer after layer after layer. And when I do, I find the wisdom, which I get to teach, which I get to bring light into the world, get to serve others and help people and make money and live a happier, healthier life. So difficult doesn't mean bad. And what's funny is the things that are really difficult, it will be part of your purpose. It will be part of your path. It will be a really important element of the life that you're creating with your soul. So common expansion code, if you want to come into the experience, we still have a few days live, or you can watch the replay, and I will see you in the next video.